Calaroga Shark Media.
From Washington, D.C., where there's a discount on F. Biden merch, this is Ballot.
That's right. And nobody has figured out how to make fun of Harris yet. What are we supposed to do? Make fun of her stupid laugh? That's already boring. Okay, let's hit this. Jimmy Fallon said, Biden is now getting credit for guiding us through the pandemic, creating millions of jobs, rebuilding our nation's crumbling infrastructure, and eliminating billions in student loans. Democrats heard that and were like, hey, this guy should run for president. Fallon added, typically on Sundays, everybody thinks about quitting their job, but Biden is the first person to actually go through with it. Am I psychic? Not only did I predict that Biden would quit on Sunday to mess up my weekend, I also predicted he would address the nation in the middle of my Wednesday night volleyball game. Well, guess what? President Joe Biden will give a primetime Oval Office address tonight following his decision to drop out of the 2024 presidential race. Joe tweeted, at 8 p.m. ET, right in the middle of Ballot host Mac Davies' volleyball game, I will address the nation from the Oval Office on what lies ahead and how I will finish the job for the American people. I pledge to continue to ruin this guy's social life at every opportunity. Thanks, Joe. Meanwhile, Clooney knew I was onto him and finally revealed himself. Clooney's all in for Harris, saying he's excited to do whatever we can to support her. I'm assuming whatever we can means more glamorous fundraisers where the hors d'oeuvres probably cost more than my monthly rent. Stay tuned for the next episode of Keeping Up with the Clooneys. Candidates. It looks like the Donald is itching for a debate showdown with Kamala Harris. And he's not just talking about one measly face-off. Oh no. In his own words, I would be willing to do more than one debate, actually. Folks, that's Trump speak for bring it on. It's like he's a kid in a candy store. Except the candy is verbal sparring, and the store is the political arena. But wait, there's more. Trump in his infinite wisdom declares, yes, absolutely, I'd want to debate Harris. I haven't seen someone this excited about a debate since Trump thought he won the last one against Biden. And then comes the kicker. Trump, champion of civic duty that he is, proclaims, I think if you're in the Democratic nominee or Republican nominee, you really have an obligation to debate. An obligation, folks. This from the man who treated Republican primary debates like optional dentist appointments. I guess obligations are like fine wine. They only matter when they're aged 4 years in the barrel of opposition. Trump wraps it up with a cherry on top. So it's very important. Important indeed, Donald. Almost as important as remembering this call came just days after he dodged a bullet, literally, at a campaign rally. Will these debates actually happen? Will they be more Lincoln Douglas or WrestleMania? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure. If Trump and Harris do square off, it'll be must-see TV. It looks like Kamala Harris is hitting the campaign trail with all the subtlety of a sledgehammer wrapped in velvet. Harris is out there flexing her prosecutorial muscles like she's auditioning for Law and Order Campaign Trail Unit. And boy, does she have some zingers locked and loaded. Take this gem. I know Donald Trump's type. Oh snap. It's like she's setting up a punchline. But the joke is Trump's entire existence. I haven't seen a build-up this good since Trump's last legal defense crumbled. And then she drops the mic with, I promise you, I will proudly put my record against his any day of the week. Folks, that's not just a campaign promise. That's a straight-up challenge. It's like she's inviting Trump to a duel, but instead of pistols at dawn, it's resumes at high noon. But let's not forget the crowd, shall we? They're not just spectators. They're active participants in this political theater. When they start chanting lock him up, it's like watching a bizarro world version of a Trump rally. The irony is so thick you could cut it with a subpoena. So there you have it, folks. Kamala Harris, former prosecutor, current VP, and now stand-up comedian? One thing's for sure, this campaign is shaping up to be more entertaining than a reality TV show. And let's face it, with Trump involved, that's exactly what it is. Stay tuned, America. This show's just getting started, and if Harris keeps this up, we're in for one heck of a season finale come November. Well, it looks like the Republicans are insisting on running that really old guy. Let's break this down, shall we? The GOP spent months telling us that Biden was too old to tie his own shoelaces, let alone run a country. Now they're stuck with Trump, who's about as spry as a sloth on Ambien. It's like they dug themselves into a hole and then handed the shovel to the Democrats. And Harris? She's strutting onto the scene like Ellie Woods walking into Harvard Law. Except instead of a chihuahua in her purse, she's carrying years of prosecutorial experience and a nifty "I'm with her" button. Remember when being a prosecutor was about as popular as a porcupine at a balloon party? Well, times have changed, folks. Now Harris is serving up her tough-on-crime record, like it's the special of the day at the political diner. I'll have the law and order, please, with a side of social justice reform. In USA Today, Rex Hupke wrote about being stuck with anti-Biden merch. I think he was kidding, but still it was funny. He's sitting on a mountain of F. Joe Biden flags that are about as useful now as a snowblower in the Sahara. And his kids? They're refusing to play along with his rebranding efforts because they find Harris inspirational and exciting. The horror. Imagine having children who think for themselves. Truly, as Rex puts it, liberalism is a disease. Even the big man himself, Donald Trump, is feeling the pain. Trump's social media lament is a masterpiece of unintentional comedy. Shouldn't the Republican Party be reimbursed for fraud in that everybody around Joe, including his doctors and the fake news media, knew he was not capable of running for or being president? I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure that's not how fraud works. But hey, when has a little thing like the definition of words ever stopped Trump? And poor Rex. He's got a warehouse full of Buck Fiden beer koozies and "I'm Joe Biden and I forgot this message" t-shirts. I guess he'll have to console himself by using them as very expensive kindling. So there you have it, folks. The real victims of Biden's withdrawal aren't the voters or the Democratic Party. It's the poor, hardworking Americans trying to make a dishonest buck off of offensive merchandise. Won't somebody please think of the Hunter Biden's laptop plushies? Trump on Truth Social mentioned Harris's poll numbers, but he spelled it P-O-L-E. I'm going to assume that was a typo and not some sort of misogynist joke. Maybe it was just evidence of Trump getting old. You can't have an 82-year-old guy running things at the end of his term, you know. Portions of today's program were made with the help of AI and a cheesesteak. A boy's gotta eat.